behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Bash TV. Palm Bash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Palm Bash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We got a great interview coming up in just a moment. But don't forget about the subscribe and bell buttons below you there. You're always going to be notified of any new episodes coming your way when you do that. And if you'd like to leave a comment on the comment section below, go ahead and do that. We'd love to hear from you there. And feel free to look at the description part and the closing credits at the end of the show, because both parts will have contact info for you. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania today, we have Keith Shaw, another awesome artist. I think you're going to agree. And we're going to get to that in a second, but first, here's a quick word from the Caden Gordon Show. So don't go away. We'll be right back right after this.
It is Caden from the Caden Gordon Show. Today's best country mix. Check out my show at thecadengordonshow.com.
Okay, we're back, and with us from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania today, we have Keith Shaw. Thanks for joining us, Keith.
Thank you, Paul. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to have you. How did it all begin for you as far as being an artist? I mean, I'm sure ever since you were a little kid, you wanted to be an artist, but maybe you fell into it much later. But everybody has their own story, so go ahead and give us your story on that.
Well, I'm not in the little kid who started playing guitar at 6 o'clock at 6 years old. I came to it later in life as a fully baked adult, and it wasn't until like 2017 that I actually started consciously writing and recording my own music. So from the very first note and lyric to what goes out the door, that's all me. Every instrument, every voice, every whatever. So that's when I kind of really turned on the creativity faucet. It was 2017.
Oh, okay. Well, I love what you do, and we got a great video coming up in just a minute. We'll get to that soon. Well, tell us some of the artists that you always watch that kind of influence you and whatnot. I mean, I'm sure you got some legendary bands that come to mind that you used to listen to.
Yeah, I'm a little bit different in my approach. I always joke around with my wife that I have a wider taste in music than she does, because something will come on the radio and I'll say, "Oh, that's so and so," and that's so, and she's going, "How do you know this?" It doesn't matter if it's rock or acoustic or jazz or blues or rap or whatever. But growing up, bands like Uriah Heep were a big influence on things that I listened to, as an example. And actually, they're still around, believe it or not. They're still making albums and everything else, even though they only got one guy, but they still pump out product, which is good. Beatles, of course, probably like every rocker, Beatles, Rolling Stones. But as I got older, I started listening to more and more stuff. And then maybe about 25 years ago, I started actually listening to rock and roll in Spanish. I used to travel to Latin America, South America a lot. And when I go to places like Santiago, Chile, or Lima, Peru, the people that I was traveling with, my colleagues that were from those sales divisions, I would say, "Hey, is there like a CD record shop nearby? Can we take 20 minutes, in between or before dinner or whatever, and then go there and you can pick out some stuff that you think I might like?" And they all kind of knew what I liked. And so I really got into that about 25 years ago, but then kind of listened to it here and there. But about 2.5 years ago, I got back into it. There was a show on Netflix. It was about the history of rock and roll in Latin America. So all of those countries, Mexico, all the way down to the very tip of Argentina. And they talked about how rock and roll evolved and all the obstacles they overcame, political and economic and everything else. So I pulled out all my old rock and roll CDs, bands like Maná, who were nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year. And I got all energized by it again. And I started writing, not only in English, but I started writing in Spanish as well.
Yeah, those are some good bands you mentioned. I mean, obviously the Stones and the Beatles, all of them are legendary. Uriah Heep,
Yeah.
I can definitely tell that kind of matches your sound a little bit. Why don't you tell everybody how we can find you? I mean, I'm sure you're on all social media and streaming media, but do you have a website? Do you have a website as well? Tell us about all that.
Yeah, I have a website. It's quite long because, and I'll briefly touch on it. Like with a name like mine, I always thought I was unique. You know, how many other people with my name could there be in the world?
Mhm.
First time I got a mortgage for a house, I found out. And a lot of them weren't the upstanding citizens that I try to be.
Mhm.
But there's a guy who does country music who's in the UK who has my name the same. That's why I smashed my name, my first and last name into just one name, just like Bono of U2 or Madonna or whoever. But my URL for my website is keithshawmusicofficial.com. So I had to kind of stretch it out to this kind of long tail URL so I could, you know, be unique in myself. And that's where all my stuff is. So all my albums, my 4 albums I've done over the last 5 years, singles that I've done, because not every song that I do winds up on an album. Sometimes I just do a single and that's it. And then, you know, pictures and whatever. And there's some things I need to update on there, like the YouTube videos. I still haven't imported over and stuff, but that's where you can find all of that stuff. And then the usual stuff, you know, Facebook. Like I got a regular Facebook page, but then I have what they call the business page, which is the music page, and Instagram and Twitter and whatever. So if you just do on Facebook and you just type in Keith Shaw Music, you know, with the initial caps all uppercase, you'll get sent to that page. And it's nice because I got a good following there and I get a lot of interaction with people and so forth. So, I mean, that's my biggest social media thing besides the website.
Mm. And you're definitely on streaming media too, you know, like Apple Music, Amazon Music, so forth.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Spotify, Apple. Yeah, because whenever I put something out, I guess this is free advertising for CD Baby. I use CD Baby and the music magically goes everywhere. So it shows up on places like YouTube and Spotify and whatever. And then I do stuff on my own. I send it out to places like SoundCloud and some of these other lesser known apps because, you know, why not? If they're free, I'll send them right along to it. You know, I'll sit there a couple hours and I'll just start, you know, go off my checkoff list. And as I'm releasing something, I'll make sure it goes to all those places that you mentioned, Paul, but also all these other places where I kind of have to manually do it. You know, even things like Reverb Nation, which is really a site for musicians. I don't think that listeners go there that much. It's mostly musicians listening to other musicians, but I mean, all my stuff is there as well. I mean, it's a good place to put stuff as well because they have some good engines for sending out stuff like emails and keeping in contact with your mailing list and stuff. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Okay. Well, check them everywhere, streaming media, social media, and then Keith Shaw Music, officialmusic.com. And I know he would really love you for that. And we're getting ready to play the song. The name of the song is called Red Kisses. Is there a story behind this? I'm sure it's self-explanatory, but
let me think. I'm trying to think if I've done something else. No, this my wedding anniversary is in April.
Huh.
Matter of fact, it's on tax day, April the 15th. It just happened to turn out that way. We didn't plan it that way. It just happened in the year 2000. The Saturday we picked to get married happened to be April 15th, and it was a Saturday, and the hall was rentable and all that other kind of stuff. So Red Kisses came about because I said, oh, I'll make like a little song for the wife, you know. So Red Kisses is kind of like a love song. I did it in English and I did it in Spanish. The Spanish version is a lot more racy. But the English version is a little, I mean, there's not like nasty language in it, but it's like got those like little, you know what I mean? Those like little nods and winks in it in the Spanish version to make it a little, because it sounds a little bit more spicy. And that's kind of how the whole thing kind of came about.
Okay, I love this song. You guys out there are going to love it too, and we'll get to that in just a second. But before we do, I want to thank you so much, Keith Shaw, for being on the show today. Come back anytime you want to come back. and plug something new. Maybe we'll have you back on sometime.
I love it. It'd be great. A
Oh.
lot of music to talk about and share with all of your viewers and stuff, but I do appreciate you taking the time to do this today.
Oh, yeah, no problem. And here it is, Red Kisses by Keith Shaw. It begins right now.
Bright as the sun and hot as the sand, your love burns like a flare I don't understand. One brush of your lips, a moment's regress, crimson like the dawn, we enmesh. Red kisses sweeter than wine, oh yeah. Your lipstick leaves a fearless trace. In this moonlit night, passion roams. Red kisses, I found my home. Beneath the silver sky, dancing in a sea of fire, in your embrace an unleashed desire. Your touch is an addictive, potent art, drawing with your lipstick, graffiti on my heart. Red kisses sultry as a rose, with every touch 100 grows. Our realm of desire, fervor freely reigns. Red kisses, I found my home. You in the mirror, with your shadow on the wall. Every laugh, every gesture makes me want to fall. Up I do beneath the twinkling stars. In every kiss you give, we write our love memoirs. Red kisses, fiery tangos dance, reading an eternal song in this trance. Lipstick and desire paint out like a breath. Red kisses, I found my home. In the corners of my dreams, your laughter rings. Every shade of red can a new love bring. The flavor of your kisses, it's classic pleasure, an endless cup of passion I never want to lose. Give me red kisses, stain on my soul so deep, the rhythm of a love to keep. In the echoes of our hearts, and love still scores your red kisses and the path of no remorse. Red kisses sweeter than wine, oh yeah. Your lipstick leaves a fearless trace. In this moonlit night, passion roams. Red kisses, I found my home.